What it is, it is Yo Girl Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the drama life prison wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice. Hoping, girl, because you got to hold your breath for justice. To see justice before all fades to black. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. Anyways, guys, I'm coming through. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I am coming through today, November the 23rd, because it is at the midnight, 2025. I had a long day. First, I stayed up after work. I closed last night. Stayed up and I actually did get to drawing. I broke through that warfare that is surrounding my artwork, and I actually got to drawing yesterday. So I did session number, I believe that's number 4 of drawing 1250 podcast. I should be done. I would have finished last night, girl. I would have finished, but my phone unalived itself. And it was like almost 5 in the morning, and I said I better go on to bed. So I do go to bed, and then I'm awakened by. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, sorry. That's why I want to go home and finish it, but I'm really sleepy. I said I better just stop pushing myself so hard. Just chill and try to do it tomorrow. But I was awakened this morning with the kids, my niece and nephew coming over. My granddaughter was with me. No, the first time I was awakened was my daughter giving me my grandson and his little tail being up early in the morning and running around. And I'm like, boy, lay down. I'm not ready to get up. And his little thick, chunky legs just running on. He just learned how to walk, y'all. So now he trying to run. Like, girl, like you can't just walk for a little bit. But anyway, so he was trying to run all over the house, and I'm still tired, still going to bed. So then I go back to sleep, and that's when the niece and nephew came over. Oh God, I'm tired. Sorry. Niece and nephew came over, so they're like, and then my granddaughter, she's always saying that she don't have nobody to play with. Grandma, play with me. I don't have no friends at the house. I hate when she says that. It's so sad. She's like, Grandma, I don't have no friends at the house. You gotta play with me. So, Grandma do be playing with her though. Grandma be up with her all night sometimes. That's my baby. That is my baby. She's such a blessing. But so they come over and she immediately gets up. So she got her friends to play with. Now the thing is, the girls don't get along too well. My granddaughter and my niece, they all day just fighting, 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 going tit for tat. But I don't know. So they were like, "Can you take us to the park?" And I'm like, "Okay, I guess I could take y'all to the park." But do y'all want to go to the farmers market early and then I'll take y'all to the park after? Girl, we ended up being gone all day, all before work. So I got home, sorry, in just enough time to change my uniform and get on to work, girl. So I am really tired. But I'm gonna quickly just introduce because you know I can get long-winded. I really can, but I think my brain tired. We were so busy tonight, and yeah, and it is my Friday, so I'm hoping I get some things accomplished this weekend. But most of all, I gotta really, instead of being go, 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 I gotta learn how to rest sometime. I really do need to rest. But what I thought about yesterday, I record my videos and I listen to them back, and then it's usually always like another thing. I'm like, dang, I should have said this, I should have said that. And I'll get different analogies. That's always been my way of explaining how I feel about something. Like it's very I am not a good communicator by words. Verbal words. Written words, girl. I'm that when it comes to written words, but verbal talking is not my strength. And I can draw you an image and you can understand what I'm saying. So I can create to relay my message, but it's not easy doing like verbal talking to relay my message, right? So, one thing that God has always given me is like analogies or metaphors. I'm a rapper. A metaphor hits you like for real. You be like, dang, like you get that meaning when it's a metaphor, right? So the analogy, I did the analogy last night about because what is happening in my life, many times God can speak to you through those things. And my storage, all my storages are full. Everything that has storage is full in my life. From my phones, which make it very difficult to create, to my emails, to everything, storage full. And I thought about mass incarceration being allegedly human storage being full because the prisons in mostly in this country allegedly are to critical capacity. It does concern you as people that live in a community. This is how criminal justice reform is actually connected to you. Because rather than just storing human life, allegedly, like a storage, just shelving it, um, if they weren't actively rehabilitating people, they're going to get out and most likely reoffend in the neighborhood, in the hoods that they left. They return back, reoffend against innocent people like you that don't care about reform, right? So, another thought that I got, because one of the things I have been fighting for criminal justice reform, I've been fighting for against wrongful convictions for longer. I would say around 2020 ish is when I really started fighting for prison reform and criminal justice reform, right? Because up until that point, I'm thinking my husband being wrongfully incarcerated is just a freak mistake. This is not really set up this way. I don't even know how it ended up going haywire, but this is not our system. Well, upon fighting for your loved one, you find out that they meant this system to be allegedly the way that it is, right? So I was very unaware that this is happening. And being very unaware to the justice system makes you allegedly the perfect victim to fall within it. That's allegedly why I try to warn others about this detriment. Because if you did see yourself with the possibility of being wrongfully in that system, you probably would want to change it if you really knew the true possibility, right? Okay, so most don't realize how great of a chance they have of just being wrongfully convicted. It really is as easy as someone claiming you did something and you can easily be convicted of it. See, you think they have to have the evidence. If the glove does not fit, you must acquit allegedly, and things like that. That is not how it really goes. That's how it goes in on movies, in you know, but in real life, allegedly, it's not like that. So you become very unsuspecting of the possibility of innocent people being in prison, which I'm taking it that you're innocent, that you're law abiding, upstanding citizen, and they shouldn't have never did what they did since you're looking down low on us. I take it you don't commit crimes, right? So you being innocent can still end up easily in prison, but you just don't realize it. So you're an unsuspecting possible victim, right? And I thought about the latest thing I'm going through trial in my life is my car being stolen. Um, I found out that there's a such thing as Kia boys, and they are literally stealing Kias to do whatever they do, to have fun, to drag race, to do whatever, instead of doing the right things, right? And just making themselves openly available for this system. Like, I wish our young boys, but see, they're allowing it because they want to secure the next generation of bed fillers. See, my husband is middle aged. They got him when he was young. The demographic that they want in these prisons are very young. And then, they want to keep a lot for life, but now they're running out of space and stuff like that. But they do want to get a good amount of time out of you. And allegedly, my husband's time is coming to the end in prison, right? So once Marcello Jackson is released from his wrongful incarceration 10 to 12 years from now, who's going to fill his spot? They need somebody in that bed. Remember, I told you I can't remember who this content creator was, but he was like, the more bread, the more heads they lay in the bed. So when Marcello is finally released, not released from his wrongful conviction, because I don't have the army, I don't have the voice, this story is not being broken. Um, Allegedly, algorithms are suppressing me, burying my content. My voice is not heard. I'm like, so, but he does have an out date. He has an out date. Right now it's 2038, right? So in 2038, who's going to take his spot? They're going to fill that spot, rightfully or wrongfully. They're going to fill that spot because it's allegedly there for other reasons, right? So I was thinking a big reason as to why I fell victim to the Kia boys is because I was unsuspecting. I didn't even know they were still doing this. I heard about it. I paid no mind to it when it was trending, like what, 2 years ago. I was like, oh, okay. Even my family in Chicago was like, I had family members whose car was stolen. And they was like, they ain't touch yours, you drive it here. And I'm like, no, like, so I was thinking that it couldn't touch me. Not that I was thinking I was holier than that. I just didn't think. You don't never think those things happen to you. And then, especially now, this is not even the timing in which they were doing that. It's not even. So, why? So, had I been, had I took heed to the warnings, I could have possibly stayed up to date. I didn't even know. Now I'm backtracking, learning things, past tense. I didn't know they had updates where you could have took your car in, and even though they said those things failed too, but and they were stolen, kids were stolen right after the people put the updates, or I could have already had this little old school 1999 bar lock on my steering wheel. Like I could have done that. Now I'm realizing they have things like I could have put like some type of tracking on it, or I could have had an alarm system, or I could have taken measures to change, because the system of that Kia was set up already. But it made me a possible victim, unsuspecting. I was innocent. But because I did not take heed when this was trending and people were talking about it, and just in my girl, I'm not just in la la world, girl. You know I'm fighting my husband, wrongful conviction. So I'm sure that's what I was doing 2 and 3 years ago, recording the same videos, begging for help, being stayed on that, to where I didn't hear those warnings, and I became a victim of it. And that same thing is true for those, the newer generation that will be wrongfully incarcerated or overly sentenced, or it's like you just don't hear the cries, the pleas, you don't hear the warnings until you or your loved one are wrongfully incarcerated. Then you're like, somebody's got to do something about it. But guess what? It's usually too late. And for me, it really is too late because I'm sleepy and I'm going to bed. All right, guys. So I will talk to y'all later. It's your girl, Cadillac.